Hey gang, Jim Spellos here. Happy Microsoft Monday, although it's another day of the week, obviously, when you're watching this. But we're going to go back to PowerPoint today and talk about 4 different ways to save a file, all located in the same place. Most people just think of saving a PowerPoint file, not surprisingly, as a PowerPoint. But let's show you a couple things. So we're going to scoot over to PowerPoint. It might be a little messy on the screen for a second. However, very short 4-slide presentation. Now we all know we can save it. We can hit the save icon at the top of the screen. But let's start this conversation by going over to the File menu, and from File, let's select Save As. And when we hit Save As, we have the shortcut approach to being able to save everything. And typically, if we want to change the folder, we can do that. But what I want to do, and this is really critical, is hit the drop arrow that's to the left of the Save button to see what are about 30, I think 27 actually, different ways to save it. But we're only going to focus on 4 because I don't think the ones really are that, a lot of them are very useful. They're very specific. But the ones I find useful. Number 1, saving as a PowerPoint show, a PPSX. And why that's important is if you want to share your PowerPoint with someone, but you only want them to see the show and not the individual slides, and you want to disable the ability for them to be able to modify or even look at it slide by slide, all you got to do is click on PPSX, and when you do that and you hit save, it's going to save it as a show. Now, right now, what I'm going to do is go over to my file document here and open up the Eat as if your life depended on it sample PPT save formats. And when I double click on it, it jumps right to the full presentation. Now, I'm going to escape out of this. It's also saved what you're working on as a PPPS or PPSX. Too many P's, not enough X's there. And so you may want to just go back to File, which I'm going to do right now, go back to Save As, and at least for me to do the work right here, get it back into a PowerPoint presentation. But that's number 1, a PPPS. It says it already exists. Yeah, I know. So that's 1. Number 2, let's go back to File, let's go back to Save As, let's go back to the drop down, and this time what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, not too far down, and choose Save as a PDF file. Did you know you could do that within PowerPoint very simply? So when you do that and you click Save, it might take a little while. I culled this down to only 3 or 4 slides because I think it's a lot easier for this to work within a certain amount of time. But there we go, PDF file, which I can double click on right now, and let's see it open up as if it was, you guessed it, a PDF file. Pretty sweet. That's number 2. One thing we're going to notice when we go back into the PowerPoint and we're going to look at the very top of the screen, it didn't affect the PPTX, the actual PowerPoint save file that we're working on. So first one, opening as a show or saving as a show. Number 2, saving it as a basic PDF. Let's go back. File, Save As. Number 3 on this one, we can save it as a JPEG or actually a PNG or any other visuals, pictures, graphics. The thing with the JPEG is when we click on it and then we hit save, it's going to pop up one more menu for us, which is what do we want to export. We can do all the slides, or we can just export the particular slide that we're on, and I'll do that for right now. So I'm going to say just this one. I'm going to export that one. Now again, where it keeps us is where we're working. But when I go to my Explorer, I now see I have this file here saved as a JPEG, and so when I double click on it, it will appear as a JPEG. That's number 3. Okay, one more to go. And this one is when you want to send this to somebody who doesn't have PowerPoint, or perhaps has the ability to not watch it in PowerPoint, but you want to watch it as a movie. And that's also done through the exact same location. So File, Save As, click the drop down, and at this point we're going to start scrolling down and we're going to look for an MP4. Now you can also save it as a GIF. You can save it as a Windows Media video, but MPEG more standard across most platforms. So we will save this as a video. Now, we're going to hit save right now. But one thing you really want to do beforehand, if you're saving it as a video, is make sure that you have worked within your transitions to get the right amount of time between each slide. These are set for the transitions to be every 7/10 of a second, and the advanced slide very, very quick. This probably will look really, really bad as a video, but since we've done it, let's test it out. Let's look at the MP4. Let's open it up, play it, and there we go. It saved it as 21 seconds, so each one's going to be about 4 or 5 seconds. Whatever transition that we put on there will appear here. If you're using animation, it will stagger and stage the animation based on the timing of the transition, and it'll play through the entire presentation. We have all 4. You see the animations coming in, and then at the end, it'll end the video. So there we have it. We have 4 ways right there to be able to save within PowerPoint. Really straightforward. I happen to love the PowerPoint show, the PPSX, to give a boss or somebody a work in progress that you don't want them messing with, but you do want them to see it. Or if they don't have PowerPoint, or maybe they're on a Mac and they're using Keynote or whatever, you can send it as an MP4. You also have the ability to save a particular slide as a JPEG. So if you do your formatting in PowerPoint, you can take that slide and get it saved as a JPEG. Quite frankly, typically I like PicMonkey and tools like that when I'm doing my work there as opposed to doing it within PowerPoint, but I have it all set up. It's a perfect place to go. So that's today's Microsoft Monday. We talk about saving in PowerPoint, giving you 4 options. There are more. You can go deeper and deeper into that, but I find those 4 to be the most useful. Have a great day. See you all soon.